The career fates of the two actresses embroiled in the college admission scandal seem to differ greatly. Mothers who embark on a road trip to New York in an attempt to reconnect with their life about adult sons. Helmed by Sex and the City writer-producer Cindy Chupak, and based on the 2008 novel Whatever Makes You Happy by William Sutcliffe, the movie is a dramedy in the tradition of the Nancy Meyers oeuvre. The film's cast includes Angela Bassett, Patricia Arquette, and, in a turn that has deeply complicated the film's spring release, Felicity Huffman. When Netflix greenlighted the Lark of a Movie in spring 2018, it couldn't have known that one of its stars would be embroiled in the largest academic admission scandal in national history. That's where the streaming company has found itself a year later, as Other Odd Fate has become the latest episode in the long-running Hollywood game of weighing programming strategy against a star's bad behavior. The streaming giant allowed as much last week, confirming that it would push the movie's release back from next Friday to August 2. Its strategy, as Huffman stated a possible high time for paying $15,000 to have a Proctor booster daughter's SAT scores, appeared to be delay and pray. The decision, company insiders told me this week, wasn't based on Huffman's recent guilty plea agreement, but was made with the filmmakers prior to her statement. What is interesting, though, is the service's comfort in giving it a firm release date down the road. Will the college admission scandal, or at least Huffman's role in it, have blown over by late summer? It is a wait-and-see situation, said one Netflix insider. No one can predict the future and no one is trying to. We don't want their personal issues to become the publicity of this movie. It's a distinctly different strategy than the one being employed on the other Huffman-involved project Netflix is distributing this spring, Ava DuVernay's four-part miniseries on the Central Park 5, When They See Us. In the series, Huffman plays prosecutor Linda Fairstein, the woman who led efforts to convict 5 innocent teenage boys of the 1989 assault and rape of a jogger in the case. It's a role central to the project, and Huffman appears in few of the episodes, but the series is focused more on the story of the wrongly convicted men than on those who did the prosecuting. Netflix trailer for the series dropped Friday, to correspond with the 30th anniversary of the incident. DuVernay's series will debut on May 31, as initially scheduled. That whole series is such a bigger thing so they don't think it's going to take over the narrative, said the Netflix source. Netflix's treatment of Huffman, let's call it Kid Glowlight, differs somewhat from Warner Bros. Television's handling of the other famous actress embroiled in the college scandal, Lori Loughlin. The 54-year-old, who, along with her husband, clothing designer Massimo Giannulli, pleaded not guilty earlier this week to charges that they spent $500,000 in bribes to get their teenage daughters into the University of Southern California, will likely not return to the cast of Fuller House. While Aunt Becky is a millennial national treasure on the Full House revival, the company is under no obligation to hire her for the upcoming season. In light of the accusations and her lack of contrition, there is little to no chance she will return. Scandal in Hollywood dates as far back as the Silent Era, and the town has long grappled with how to treat the work of artists and performers who turn out to be less than morally fit. But it's become a perpetual problem in recent years, especially in the post-Me Too world, as those in charge rank high-stakes equations on what to release, when to release, and, in some circumstances, if to release. It's interesting to see who comes back, said the Netflix source. On one hand, Mel Gibson has been rehabilitated to an extent. On the other hand, Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein have not. What does that mean? Is it just recency? Is it severity? Huffman, 56, is one of 3 parents who have agreed to plead guilty to the charges brought before them. And she's been one of the few showing contrition for her actions, starting with a statement last week, "I am in full acceptance of my guilt, and with deep regret and shame over what I have done, I accept full responsibility for my actions and will accept the consequences that stem from those actions," said the statement. "I am ashamed of the pain I have caused my daughter, my family, my friends, my colleagues, and the educational community." Huffman's strategy has differed greatly from Loughlin's, As the Hollywood response. In addition to likely losing out on the Fuller House gig, Loughlin was dropped by the Hallmark Channel, where she frequently appeared in its made-for-television movies and two series for the network, Garage Sale Mysteries and the long-running When Calls the Heart. What's interesting is Felicity seems to be taking a play out of Martha Stewart's playbook, whereas Lauren is not, said one Crisis P.R. Executive. Those two are initially fought the felony charges brought against her in the Inclone stock trading case in 2004, after being convicted, she asked to serve 5 months prison sentence immediately. The term became something of a publicity exercise in her favor as she made lemon souffle, gained the nickname M. Diddy, and even received a talk about going away present from a fellow inmate, a grey crochet poncho that made for a fashion moment. Today, she hosts a television show with Snoop Dogg. Felicity is setting herself up to be rehabilitated, the PR veteran continued. Nobody wants to go to prison in order to work again, but she is definitely playing into the public sentiment. Lori is thinking, claiming innocence and ruining her value down the road. There must be a legal strategy here, but if you want to come back as an actor and a public figure, you have to factor in the optics. Netflix seems to be doing just that. The company could have buried their own indefinitely. The streamer will instead simply delay its support of a film Tupac has been trying to get made for a decade. With this fast-paced news cycle, Netflix calculation may be just right. If not, the service can postpone it again, and again, and again, should it feel the need. Netflix doesn't have to book a theater. There is no competition to worry about, and if there was some sort of contractual obligation where they have to release it, they could always put it out on a Sunday morning and nobody will ever know, added the PR exec. They are a closed system. They make the rules. In the meantime, maybe Huffman should start brushing upon her crotchet.